Happy Monday, my friends, and welcome back into another edition of Prime Sports World. And just like that, WrestleMania 41 is in the books. We're going to give you a full recap of the entire weekend right here at Prime Sports World before Monday Night Raw can go on the air in just a few more hours. I'm of course your host, David On Point Huppin. Thank you very much for joining us. I think I'm rolling solo today, but that's okay. I'll give you all my opinions on all things wrestling, as this is On Point Wrestling Entertainment, and this is WrestleMania 41 recap. Please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. We're going to swing into a little more traditional coverage at Prime Sports World after today, including our UFL coverage tomorrow, and then we'll give you our final mock draft on Wednesday, as the draft is already on Thursday. That just flew by. But yeah, thank you very much for joining us. Let me know down in the comment section what you thought about WrestleMania. I certainly have my opinions on a particular match. We'll get to it when we get to it. But let's just talk about everything that we saw over the weekend. Did I like it or did I not like it? You're going to find out here today on this episode of Prime Sports World. And shout out to Simon Miller for the ups and downs from What Culture Wrestling, if you don't know. Let's talk about night one. So we have crowned Jey Uso as the champion of the World Heavyweight Championship. He takes out Gunther, who was the champion, who held that title for. I mean, he's had it since he took it off. Damian Priest, I do believe, a few months ago. So he had a pretty lengthy title reign. I don't really remember any of his defenses. I don't think any of them were super memorable. But when it comes to this match, you had Jey Uso with the big entrance. He comes to the crowd. Having all of those people involved in the beginning of that just felt really big and really epic. All right. But yeah, I mean, Jey Uso, as we go through the, just some of the offense by Gunther just looks so painful all the time. But yeah, Jey Uso eventually gets the upper hand. He does a super kick party, and then he hits the 3 Uso splashes in a row. And then when you think he's going to go for the 4th Uso splash, Gunther ends up getting up. Jey Uso puts him into the chokehold, and as a heel does, as opposed to staying in that chokehold for a long time, he taps out immediately. A lot of people are saying that they didn't really like that finish. I would have rather have had Jey Uso hit the 4th frog or Uso splash and then pin Gunther right there. But it's very heelish to just tap out immediately from a chokehold, as you would, because you don't want to die. the right guy won. That's all that really matters. Jey Uso will be a fantastic champion. I'm interested to see what they do with Jey Uso post this. Um, I enjoyed this title match. I enjoyed the match in general. Some of the strikes from Gunther were just so stiff, as his offense tends to be. Um, and then his entrance also, Gunther is just so just vanilla, just as like Gunther likes it. Like he's like, this is wrestling isn't about the show; it's about the fighting. He comes out with basically a traditional entrance, and just walks to the ring as he normally does. To the next match. I'll give this a scale. I mean, out of 10, I'd probably give this a 7 or an 8 out of 10. The right guy won. The match was very entertaining. And I got no complaints. After this, I know the matches are out of order, so we'll just go through the match order. I do believe after this match was the World Tag Team Championship match where the New Day did retain. Their ring gear is always so spot on. I'm not exactly sure, 100% sure what the New Day's. I think it was it the White Walkers from Game of Thrones? That's what it looked like to me, but I don't really know for sure. As for the War Raiders, I didn't really like what they wore to the ring. It didn't look like WWE. Didn't look like WrestleMania quality gear. But the match itself was fantastic up until like the finish. I just thought the finish was a little bit meh. You had Xavier Woods hit the move. Was it the Midnight Hour? And then Kofi Kingston holds down. I can't remember if it was Ivar or Eric. Holds down his leg and then unable to get to the ropes to break up the pinfall and New Day win. I just would have rather have seen the New Day win this more heelish. If that makes sense, right? Like, you have this big heel persona, you have this ultimate good guy faction in the New Day. You kind of wanted them to have them do this heel victory, and it just didn't really get to that level. I didn't really enjoy the finish. I did want the New Day to win because WWE never really capitalized on this excellent heel turn, where they turned on Big E on that SmackDown, and they just kind of treaded water for 3 months. And putting the titles on them makes sense from an idea standpoint. I just would have much rather preferred a better ending, and we can talk about that for a couple of these matches, but for this one for sure, because I think the New Day, that heel turn hasn't really been capitalized on, so that's a little bit disappointing for me. But the New Day won; they deserved to win. They should have won, and they did win. I'll give this 5 out of 10 at best. And then after this match, I do believe we had the Jade Cargill Naomi match. Naomi came out with a little bit new ring music and new ring gear. The glow stuff was gone from her heel persona or from her face persona. Jade Cargill's entrance was so cool. He had Jim Cantori, one of the most famous meteorologists in the business, kind of start her introduction. And then she comes out with all the Storm gear. The entrance was super good, super cool. The match itself, I would have had Naomi win. I understand that Jade is kind of who they want to be a big time star, but I would have much preferred if Naomi won. I hate when you have somebody make a heel turn, have a character shift, and then they don't win the match. That's just a little bit of a bummer for me. But Jade does win. She hit the jaded, like it was like it was such a cool looking move. Like she's so powerful, like she is just so strong and powerful. It's unreal the strength that Jade Cargill has. But with that being said, yeah, I would have rather had Naomi win. The match itself was very entertaining, but I would have preferred if Naomi had won. From there, I think we had the United States Championship match, and we had Jacob Fatu retaining the title or winning the title off of L.A. Knight. Yeah. And there were this was an absolute spot fest of a match. It was some really crazy moments. Like you could tell that Jacob Fatu has all the talent in the world. The dude just oozes charisma and just there's something about his character that it's awesome. He's going to be a big time star in WWE moving forward for a long, long time. He's probably going to be main eventing WrestleMania next year for sure. He won't be at the middle of the card. Going after a mid-card title. Like he's going to be in the big time in my opinion. But yeah, Jacob Fatu wins. He hits, I'm not sure what his finisher is even called, but he hits he hits the finisher. He gets the 1-2-3 on LA Knight. There were some couple real cool movements. Like he was doing a moonsault. Like his moonsault might be prettier than Tiffany Stratton. We'll get to her in a little bit, but Jacob Fatu, yeah, he hits he hits his finisher. He pins LA Knight. There was a cool moment off the top ropes where LA Knight kind of hit the Blood Force Trauma like kind of like out of a moonsault. Like it looked super cool. And both these guys are top flight talent. I would have rather have seen LA Knight retain and you take the title a little bit further than this. I would have rather also seen the Bloodline 2.0 a little bit fall apart. I do think it's interesting now that, Jacob Fatu's got this title. And so like if Solo is going to be quote unquote still the leader of this group, I think it's going to be hard to justify that now that he's never won a title and Jacob Fatu's only been here a few months. And now he has the title. It just makes for an interesting dynamic for that group moving forward. But I would have preferred if LA Knight had won it here with this particular match. And then to the Rey Mysterio El Grande Americano match. Obviously, Rey Mysterio, hopefully all the best for him. I have not seen an update on what his actual injury is, but they had Rey Fenix swap into that spot, which is fine, I guess. El Grande Americano wins the match. I wouldn't have done that. I think I would have had Rey Fenix win, but he did win, or defer his means. Like he put that metal plate into the face plate. Oh, let's go. Yo, what's up, brother?
Sorry, I was busy burying a body, so I was a little delayed.
No, it's all good, man. Welcome to the show. I also started the show a little bit late, so you're all good.
It's okay.
That is Ryan right there. You want to introduce yourself a little bit to the people of Prime Sports World before we get into the actual, because I'm already a little bit deep into it. So.
Yeah, no worries. My name is Ryan. Huge fan. I'm new to the world of Hoffman's world, but been a wrestling fan for a very long time. Tuned in somewhere around the mid-Attitude Era, tuned out, came right back in when John Cena was in his 2006 WrestleMania 22 run, and then been going pretty heavy ever since.
Well, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
What are we on right now?
Prime Sports World. We are talking about the Jacob Fatu match, him beating LA Knight for the United States Championship. Just talking a little bit about Jacob Fatu and I think his rise and what they can do potentially out of this match with the dynamic with the Bloodline 2.0. I think it's going to be hard for Solo to still be the leader of that group moving forward. Let's just talk about the match. What do you think about the match itself?
Well, I was with you when the match was happening, and I kind of walked back and forth a little bit. But from what I saw from it, I think Fatu really had LA Knight's number. He's kind of a force to be reckoned with. He's tough. He's really tough.
Yeah. There was that cool, like, so I think like there's going to be a point where LA Knight's hitting that Blood Force Trauma kind of out of nowhere, kind of a Randy Orton style move, because it is kind of just a variation of a cutter. When he like hit that, Jacob Fatu was going for a moonsault, and LA Knight caught him out of the moonsault through off the rope. It was a really cool moment. It was very cool. But yeah, I would have preferred if LA Knight had won this match.
Oh, definitely me too. It wasn't seeming too likely when it happened. But yeah, I would have definitely had LA Knight win if I was.
I don't know what you do with LA Knight now. Like I don't think he goes into the title picture. I mean, I guess you can feed him to John Cena. Well,
he could be anywhere at any time. Like maybe they might be pushing him towards Jey Uso. You never really know what he's going to do because obviously, people love him, right? And Jey Uso got pushed into the picture because of his merchandise sales and becoming a fan favorite. So who's to say LA Knight can't have the exact same thing happen to him?
That's fair. So moving on from there, we're going to talk about the Rey Mysterio El Grande Americano match. El Grande Americano obviously wins. He puts, obviously, Rey Fenix replaces Rey Mysterio. Nothing but the best for Rey Mysterio. Hope you make a speedy recovery. I have not seen an update on what the actual injury is. But Rey Fenix gets to make his WrestleMania debut, which is kind of cool. Also, his brother made his WrestleMania debut yesterday as well. El Grande Americano puts the metal plate into the mask. He hits Rey Fenix with like just a headbutt.
A flying, well, honestly, but epic headbutt.
Yeah, and he just
was jumping so high.
Rey Fenix just took it right to the face, and El Grande Americano wins. I would have probably done. I don't know what the plan was originally when Rey Mysterio was supposed to be part of this match. I also don't know what the scramble effect was on this match because you don't expect Rey Mysterio to get hurt 24 hours before the match and have to put a different wrestler into the match. Imagine that changed the entire dynamic of whatever they had planned beforehand. So yeah, just speedy recovery to Rey Mysterio, all-time legend. You can make the argument maybe the greatest wrestler of all time. Let's talk about this match.
I don't know, man. Dominic Mysterio thinks he's the best Mysterio now. So,
Well, he might
I
be.
mean, are we going to debate it?
But yeah, El Grande Americano wins. Just talk to me about it.
Oh, okay. So that one was interesting. So the whole time I was kind of rooting for El Grande Americano because my first thought was, how interesting could this storyline get the more we kind of go into this one? And they both put on some really good moves, and El Grande is honestly getting a lot better when it comes to this luchador stuff. As if we're going to pretend he's Clark Gable or not, that's up to you. Sorry, Chad Gable. I'm so sorry, Chad Gable. Clark Gable's an actor.
I like the Clark Gable.
But yeah, whether we're going to pretend Chad Gable's him or not, El Grande is doing really, really good. And that ending, what a flashback to Chris Benoit. That flying headbutt. My God. That was I wonder what people are going to think about that themselves, because this whole Chris Benoit stuff is crazy just to even think about. And people are going to notice that he took from Chris Benoit to end the match. So I'm not too sure how the world's going to react to it, but I think it was a pretty awesome finish.
Yeah, the match was good, super entertaining. Ray Phoenix is stupid athletic and super talented. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know if I would have necessarily put him in this. I would have, especially if you're going to lose. I just think that no build on this match. It's obviously really exciting for him. He gets a WrestleMania moment, but I don't know if that's what he wanted to be.
Well, I mean,
I would probably
there's only really so much you can really do.
I
They
probably
added
would
him
have put
so last minute.
I probably would have had Dragon Lee in that spot as opposed to Ray Phoenix.
Yeah,
and I know they're all
remember you telling me
luchadors,
about that.
but Ray Phoenix doesn't have any history with they I don't even think they had a single interaction prior to this match. It didn't make a whole
Did
ton of
Penta
sense.
at all?
Yeah, but he was already in the Intercontinental match. So I mean, yes,
Penta,
he did.
He would have been interesting as well.
Penta is the one that sent Chad Gable onto this little quest. If whatever. I mean, the whole Grande Americano character in general makes me a little bit uncomfortable. So I'm just I just.
And I laugh at it because I think it's a funny storyline. It's just the whole hey, we're all going to pretend that this isn't Chad Gable, even though we all know. Oh, I have a doctor's note, and then we're just going to buy it for some giggles. And
it's professional.
I just don't understand why he felt the need to do it.
We bought that Ezekiel and Elias were two different people for a long time. So
that one I wasn't really buying too much.
I love it.
This is more like Hulk Hogan and the Patriot did. Like when Hulk Hogan tried to act like he was this luchador or superhero, and we're like, "Come on, we all know it's you." like I think it's way more similar to that than it is Ezekiel.
I love the Ezekiel Elias stuff though. Anyways, moving on from there, let's talk about the WWE Championship match, Women's Championship match. Tiffany Stratton retains over Charlotte Flair while breaking off some of her teeth. As this match was just hard hitting, a little bit sloppy at times, but the entrances for both of these two wrestlers were both awesome, and up until this point. Because she came out first, and it's a little bit strange for the champion not to get the second entrance. But
you were commenting on that.
Yeah, up until what was it? Up until some point yesterday, every match where the champion had come out first, they had retained their title, and that's the case here. Tiffany Stratton hits the moonsault, she gets the 1, 2, 3. And she beats Charlotte Flair, which is a pretty good feather to have into your cap if you're a pretty young wrestler. I mean, Charlotte Flair might be the greatest women's wrestler ever. And for Tiffany Stratton to get this victory, kudos to her. It was a pretty solid match, hard hitting, just a grunge match, really. And Tiffany Stratton retains.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they changed the finish because, Tiffany Stratton was basically one of those overlooked champions. Everyone was too busy looking at Rhea Ripley, Bianca, and Io Sky. And then suddenly the promo started coming in with Charlotte Flair in her, and you started realizing that Tiffany's actually pretty good on the mic. And then Charlotte, for some odd reason, was not good at the mic for any reason. She would just she kept falling short. She just couldn't keep up with Tiffany. And I wouldn't be shocked if WWE brought Charlotte in to win it. And then once they saw how the promos were going and how the crowd was turning on her, they thought, well, maybe we should change it to Tiffany. The crowd clearly wants her to win this way more than Charlotte, which might have even shocked them themselves. Because that was
I tend to agree with you. I think because I just don't think these two wrestlers have chemistry together. Like they just don't.
Just kind of random.
Yeah, they don't really seem to click well together. Like even in this match, there were some sloppy moments where they didn't seem to work as well together. And I was under the impression that I thought Charlotte Flair was going to win this match, and I thought they were going to have some sort of trilogy between these two wrestlers. I don't think that's the case. I think this kind of puts an underline it. Like Tiffany Stratton beat Charlotte Flair clean as a whistle. There's no question. Like I think you have a hard time now being like, oh, Charlotte Flair deserves a rematch when she lost as clean as you could. This is bona fide. Like there's no conversation about like, oh, maybe they could have gone the other way. And like this was an absolute victory.
Because Tiffany was always kind of good, but she was always kind of like in the shadows, and Nia Jax was just overlooked as basically the basic Barbie wrestler who
and her entrance was very fun.
Especially with the Barbie thing. But I think the fact that she got the chance to show off her talent against Charlotte Flair, who actually was not going to make her look overshadowed. And Tiffany really stepped up. And Charlotte, who's getting much older, who's definitely out of her prime, that was her chance to put her over. Whether she wants to or not is the question. But Tiffany, there's no joke about her now. I think we could all agree that Tiffany is definitely something special.
100%. And
I thought Charlotte was going to go for Rhea, to be honest. I thought that's where she was going with it.
I thought they probably should have gone that direction. I'm not mad about the way things worked out, but this Tiffany Stratton Charlotte Flair build to it was just kind of like it felt super forced. And I will be very interested to see what they do with both of these women moving forward with Charlotte Flair. I bet Charlotte Flair takes some time off, actually, potentially.
Give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
Okay. So we'll be interested to see what they do with Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair post Mania. We'll probably find out a lot more tonight. As we have Monday Night Raw happening in just a few hours. From there, the creme de la creme when it comes to the weekend of wrestling. This was the best match of the weekend by a country mile. CM Punk versus Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns. And Seth Rollins not only wins this match, but he wins the loyalty of Paul Heyman, which may be even more valuable than winning this match. And the finish of this was insane.
I mean, some would say Heyman's winning is way better than a championship. Because what Heyman can do for you is way better than what a piece of gold could do for you,
But the finish of this match was just a chef's kiss. Like you have Paul Heyman looking all conflicted. He gives the chair to CM Punk, and then he hits him with the low blow. Roman Reigns hits CM Punk with the chair, and then as he turns to hit Seth Rollins, he low blows Roman Reigns. He hands the chair to Seth Rollins. Chair shot, stomp, victory. And Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman walk out of here together. This was the best match of the weekend, and this was an absolute masterclass of storytelling and booking and just entertainment. And there's something about triple threat matches. There's like that like touch of chaos that comes into these matches where you just don't get that in one-on-one fights. Like because there's no disqualifications, you could do all sorts of stuff. Like they're destroying tables and destroying ring stuff. It just was a very, very good match, and I am so glad I got this right when I predicted that Seth Rollins was going to win.
Actually, you and me were the only ones there who did have it predicted that way.
I want $5 from Mr. Eddie Collins. Take that.
Yeah, you and me both went into this, and I showed you my my prediction sheet like way before the pay-per-view even started, and you and me both definitely looked at each other like, wait, you also have Payment screwing them both over for Seth? And like we just looked at each other and was like, oh, I think we both know this is happening. And like no one else seemed to notice it. But I'm like, come on, think about all the spots Seth has been doing. And let's look back to Heyman, who has never had a client. He never betrayed. So Heyman betrays everyone. And all this time he's been spending with Seth now, as far as this, oh, you owe me a favor and stop me when I'm telling lies about these guys who aren't there for you. It was just so obvious it was going to happen, but like you just wasn't sure whether that was going to be the moment it happens or if it was going to be at like Backlash or something. But oh yeah, I wrote that down as soon as I figured, oh, Heyman is choosing Seth. And the best part about it was how amazing the match was even before that happened. They were going crazy at each other. Both table spots from Roman, and then the chair shot. Like when we saw the CM Punk thing happening, I'm like, oh, he chose CM Punk. I'm like, wait, no. Seth is still back there. Something's going to happen. And I was so happy I was right because that was one amazing finish.
Yeah, I loved this match. I cannot get over how much I enjoyed watching this wrestling match, and just from beginning to end, it was absolute cinema. This and Seth Rollins winning, it was the right decision. I mean, you elevate Seth Rollins. He's already a main eventer, right? But this puts him on another level because. Like he always felt like he was like a step below Roman Reigns and CM Punk, at least the hierarchy for WWE when it comes to where like the talent wise. This changes the narrative completely.
Plus, I think something is to be mentioned that it's been exactly 10 WrestleManias later since the heist of the century, where he once again walked away with another heist.
Yeah, this time WrestleMania
31, he stole it from Roman and Brock, and this time he walked away with
crazy.
fucking Roman.
So he also stole it from two Heyman guys then too, like Brock Lesnar. Like
exactly.
Roman Reigns wasn't a Paul Heyman guy then, but it would become later.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is I love this match. I love the finish. I love the way
absolutely
it played out.
I think it was the best ending to the match it could be been to. Like I couldn't imagine a better finish for that match.
And real talk, they should have put this on night 2. We'll get to it.
Yeah, definitely.
Moving on from night 2, we got a lot to talk about when it comes to night number 2. So definitely. We started this with an absolute banger match. Every single one of these matches on the card at night number 1 was an absolute firestorm banger, except for one that we'll talk about. Let's start first match on the card. WWE Women's World Champion Io Sky retains that title as she beats Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley. This was an absolute 5-star classic, 7.6 in the Tokyo Dome. This was an absolute fantastic match. Everybody hitting all their stuff and everybody getting in all their action. But Io Sky retains. A little bit of a shocking result there. I did not think that was
not for me.
I know you predicted it. I didn't see that coming. They got me. They swerved me.
The one thing I didn't expect coming was how they replicated the finish from when Jeff Hardy won his WWE Championship. All they're fighting, and then suddenly Jeff Hardy goes to the top rope. He gets hurt. Then Edge and Triple H are going at it. And then right when Triple H pedigrees Edge and goes for the pin, Jeff Hardy comes in, swantons bombs, and takes the pin away from Triple H. And they did that the exact same way last night with Io Sky. And my first thought was like, wow, they actually duplicated it. I mean, I knew Io Sky was going to go in and win it because, let's face it, this entire storyline build-up, she was definitely the person that was being overlooked. She was never getting the attention. She wasn't getting any respect. Storyline-wise, it made sense to put her over. She needed to show that she may be smaller and not stronger, but she is something worth keeping around. There's a reason why she's a champion and not just some random Asian girl they decided to bring in because she could do really good flips. And our good friend David J. Cook, he hated Io Sky being in there because he thought, oh, who would win in a fight on the street? It's like, well, thank God we're not doing fights in the street, man. Brock Lesnar would win every single match ever since.
100%.
And I'm like, oh, it deserves to be there.
That finish was outstanding. So like Belair goes for the KOD, Ripley counters it into the Riptide, and then they hit the over the moonsault, breaking up the cover and retaining, pinning Belair. I'm not sure what Bianca Belair does now. Like post this,
I think she goes back to the Naomi storyline. I think that's what
Yeah,
she's doing
maybe.
now.
I also, man, I'm not sure what Naomi does now. Like, you go heel, then you lose immediately. It's just kind of like
Yeah, I
kind of
don't think
pop step.
that's gonna end anytime soon. I think that Naomi, Jade Cargill, and Bianca storyline are gonna still be going on.
Yeah,
I
probably. Yeah,
think they
maybe. But I think it's interesting that Io Sky won. I think she was probably the one that I thought had the least chance of winning. So the fact that she was able to be victorious here, and she beat some big time players, right? Like
Well, I mean, keep
this
one thing
is
in mind. Rhea Ripley has never actually beaten Io Sky, and Io Sky does have some victories against Bianca Belair. And as you would
I
see
mean,
on the stats,
yeah,
she's never lost a triple threat. So, like, Io Sky has actually, she did go in there with some pretty good stats already on her back. I think they only added Bianca in there because you couldn't imagine Io and Ripley one on one. They had to bring Bianca in just to add some heat to the match, make it more
and
interesting.
I also think that out of this, Rhea Ripley can be like, you never pinned me in that match. Like you beat Bianca Belair after I already had her won. Like if that match had been able to continue, if we had been 1-on-1, I
I
can
do
beat you.
think that's where they're going to pivot because I think Bianca is going to go back to Naomi and the Jake storyline, and Rhea's like, "Well, you never beat me, so show it." And eventually, Rhea will probably get her win against Io Sky and take her title back.
It wouldn't shock me if they do that match at WrestleMania Backlash in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I see
Rhea
that. I
Sky
see them
versus-
taking that route. I think it's going to be purely we're going after Io and Rhea, and then Bianca is going to the other storyline with Naomi and Jade because that's where it's going.
To the Sin City street fight with Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest. And let's talk about it, man. The entrances for both of these two competitors were both fantastic. Drew McIntyre in the Doom gear was very, very cool. And then Damian Priest with the guitars from Slayer playing his song as he marched into the ring. The entrances for both of these two guys were fantastic. And then when it got into the actual action, it was just an absolute slobber knocker of a match with tables and chairs. The only thing it was missing was the ladders, which wouldn't have made a whole lot of sense for anyone to bring out a ladder in this particular match. But
I know you've seen it happen plenty of times, though.
Drew McIntyre hits a crazy Claymore, and he gets the 1, 2, 3. But both of these guys had a fantastic showing, including that Razor's Edge through the table by Damian Priest. Like, this was an absolute banger of a match.
Absolutely. Honestly, and I think this match is one of the reasons why I did actually enjoy night 2 as much as I did, despite the finale. You know, I love Drew McIntyre's heel work. I think he's an amazing heel. And I was so upset when Drew didn't get his chance to have a title run because he kind of got screwed over during COVID. And Drew McIntyre is really good at what he does, but his heel work is just way more funny. He's gotten so good at promos and how the way he insults people and his little evil, twisted character he's decided to develop. And when they had this epic street fight, my first thought is like, oh, let's see how crazy Drew gets with it. And he did exactly what I thought he would do. He knocked it out of the park. Him and Damian Priest, one of the best matches of the night, in my opinion. That was an amazing match.
Yeah, I loved this match. And if the main event of night 1 didn't exist, this would probably be my favorite match of the entire weekend. I just thought that these guys laid everything they had on the line there. And this was an absolute classic match.
Absolutely.
With some absolute classic moments. And speaking of classic moments, as we have put a new title on Dirty Dominic Mysterio in the Intercontinental Championship match as Dominic defeats Braun Breaker, Penta, and Finn Balor in a fatal 4-way match. This match had all of the stakes and all of the chaos, including Carlito getting once again destroyed by Braun Breaker. And you have the beginning of the collapse of the Judgment Day as Dominic Mysterio turns on Finn Balor during this match. And ultimately, that ends up tying into the finish as Finn Balor hits the coup de grace. He's going to win this match. Dominic Mysterio hits the frog splash. He pins Finn Balor for the 1, 2, 3. Penta had some crazy spots in this match as well. So he looked like a chef's kiss in this match as well. Actually, he had the match won at one point if Carlito hadn't pulled him out of the ring. this was an absolute firestorm of a match, and it really super entertaining. And the right guy won, in my opinion.
Oh, definitely. I mean, let's start with this. Carlito, I think his entire existence is just gets speared by Braun Breaker now. I mean, he's been getting speared like crazy.
The man knows how to take a spear. Let's
and you know, and it's funny seeing him react to him knowing it's coming, and just seeing him like truly terrified. I mean, back in 06, I was a Carlito fan. I was even the guy who went to a WWE event with a sign that says Carlito is cool. And like, I did love Carlito because I just think he's funny and entertaining. And I'm just laughing my butt off every single time. Like Braun Breaker comes out, and he just like it's like this horrified, traumatic like look on his face, like, "Oh no, please don't hit me again, please don't spear me again, please." And like it never disappoints. As far as Dom goes, I had him on my prediction sheet. Ironically, night 2, I pretty much had a prediction sheet that was flawless. I just didn't predict the guest appearances because I didn't know who's going to show up, so I couldn't properly predict it. And we'll get to those later. But when it came to Dom, my first thought is, well, Dom Mysterio is getting actually pretty good now. And it seems like some of his heat is wearing off. And now that he's becoming more of an interesting leader to Judgment Day, people are beginning to like him and respect him more. So my first thought is, well, Dom needs this push. If he does not get his push now, he might not actually ever get it. And the heat might go back up, and he might never like really get his chance to really prove himself other than just a lackey and just a dirty guy. I think the fact that he finally got his chance to become Intercontinental Champion, I feel like now he could finally prove that he is a real wrestler and not just this dumb, weak guy that they've been having him beat this entire time. Because he is good at what he does. I thought it had a great ending. And yeah. I'll add one more thing. Our good friend David J. Cook said it best. He said it was the right ending to do, and because it didn't make Braun Breaker look bad because he didn't get pinned. They didn't destroy Penta because he didn't get pinned. It was purely with the Judgment Day where the tension lied, and that's the one Dom beat for it. Therefore, everyone came out looking good, and the storyline could progress properly with Judgment Day. And that was definitely one of his top matches. And from what he told me, he really, really, really loved that match. I think of the entire pay-per-view. But yeah, definitely I think the best guy won, and they played it out perfectly storyline-wise.
Yeah, I love, like, I think Dominic winning, as we talked about this on Saturday a little bit, like Dominic winning this match was the most interesting result. Like having him now with a title, with the dynamic with the Judgment Day, I'm very interested to see what they're going to do. Like, what is Finn Balor's reaction going to be tonight?
Not good.
Like,
not good.
Yeah, it's not going to be good.
It's not going to be good. I can see him now with his Irish accent. Like, I was going to have that. She's like, you stole it from me. Like, he's going to get like so pissed off.
And I think we're going to see. I cannot. I'm really interested to see what they do tonight with. Dominic.
I was waiting for Dom to steal it, though. I really was. I was waiting for him to come out of nowhere and steal it. But what I didn't expect was for Dom to actually be good and keeping up with the match, and 619 Braun Breaker, and actually putting in a lot of good effort, showing that of his quality, not just the guy that comes in and steals it and runs away. You know, like I think he did a great job.
The dude's stupid talented. From there, we had the Randy Orton segment, and we'll just talk a little bit about the pop for Joe Hendry as he ends up becoming the opponent for Randy Orton in this as he goes for the 20th anniversary. Obviously, Randy Orton wins, but Joe Hendry, the pop that when he came out. Very entertaining, very cool, and a very cool moment for Joe Hendry. He's kind of dragged himself through the indies, and now is at this big time moment. Like he's the TNA World Champion. You get to be in WrestleMania. This was probably the best. I mean, I think because you don't really necessarily want somebody like Rusev or an Aleister Black to make their re-debut here and then to lose in that match. I think that would diminish the return. Like that would just diminish. Like it would be hard to dig yourself out of that. You return and then lose. But Joe Hendry's bulletproof. I mean, he's the champion over there at TNA. He can afford to lose this match. And for him, it's got to be one of those full circle moments. Like you dream about this your whole life. Like you're never going to have a moment where you're going to, like, people are like, oh my God, it's Joe Hendry. Like it was a cool moment. And congratulations for Joe Hendry. You earned this opportunity. Obviously Randy Orton wins, but
Yeah, see, you and me were talking live as it happened, and my first thought was first off, Andy Collins got right, which we all were thinking something bigger. He was only to figure out Joe Hendry. I kept on making jokes. Yeah, let's go Hornswoggle. Oh, let's go like basically the dumbest recommendations, but he actually got Joe Hendry. And I think it was kind of says a lot that Joe Hendry is actually the first person to enter WrestleMania and being announced as a champion from other promotion. And he could just walk in with his championship and be recognized with that championship. And then he does what he does best. He makes you smile and he makes you laugh. And that's why I think if he's going to come into WWE, he needs to come into it through a comedy spot and not for like a purely talent spot. Because he could wrestle, but I think he's more there for laughs. And nothing made me laugh harder than that close-up smile and then RKO out of nowhere. I mean, I show people that clip who don't even watch wrestling, and they were laughing their asses off. It's like, wow, nowhere.
From there, we had the phenomenal AJ Styles take on the Maverick Logan Paul, and Logan Paul emerges victorious because Logan Paul, you can say whatever you want about him off the outside of the ring and all his other stuff, but the dude in the ring is money. That moonsault he hit during this match was
absolutely
absurd. It was like the whole distance of the ring. Like I've never seen anyone even attempt anything like that, which is just nuts.
I'm pretty sure young Chris Jericho did that too.
And I also really enjoyed his entrance. Like it was very Logan Paul, like the entrance. Like he had the drone going and he had like 9 cameras on him. And like the way that WWE put it, like it was just real cool. And it felt like a Logan Paul entrance. And he had the drone that was kind of part of the match as well. And obviously, you know, this was kind of two guys went mano a mano for majority of the match. I mean, AJ Styles got his offense, Logan Paul got his offense. But the tides kind of changed when Karrion Kross got involved. You obviously had whatever that one dude is, and Karrion Kross stops him from giving the brass knucks. Karrion Kross tries to give them to AJ Styles. He refuses, and then basically, AJ Styles gets hit by Logan Paul. He gets hit by the impulsorizer, and then he wins the match. The final ending was a little clunky because that move that Logan Paul does, his finisher now, is very difficult to pull off on bigger wrestlers. But it's still Logan Paul being real talented.
And it looks amazing when he does it too.
Yeah, it looks awesome. And Logan Paul wins. AJ Styles kind of still looks okay even in defeat, and I will be interested to see how Karrion Kross plays into the future.
Definitely. I think this was the first time in the night that somebody was offered the chance to cheat and they chose to be true to themselves and lost because of it. And you know, I don't think anyone could say Logan Paul isn't a good wrestler. They may hate him because he's a YouTuber that shows up and decides to become a wrestler full time, and because he's such an egotistical a-hole. but no one could say he can't wrestle. He's really good at what he does. I've seen this guy as a YouTuber, and I've seen him develop into all types of things. And when I saw him take on wrestling, I was able to tell immediately he really cares about this stuff. He doesn't need this fame. He had it, and he chose to become a full-time wrestler because he loves it. And I see him all the time practicing with Hurricane, and I see him like really putting all the time and effort into doing this job. And so on my prediction card, I put Logan Paul winning because I think AJ Styles' whole point in this match was show me that you're a real wrestler. Show me that you're a real guy and not just some YouTuber. So Logan may have been the heel going in, but he actually had something to prove in this match. And if you notice, Logan didn't actually cheat. The other guy tried to cheat. And again, he didn't really know the other guy was doing it. AJ allowed himself to be caught off guard, but Logan actually didn't cheat officially. He didn't do anything. And he earned it the most honest way he possibly could. And like you said, that moonsault was breathtaking. It was like, damn, that was an amazing moonsault. And I have not seen a moonsault like that since early 2000s Chris Jericho. Because he did the exact same moonsaults from the exact same distance. And even then it was impressive. And you haven't seen something like that since. Logan Paul is something special. And I can't wait to see more of him. And by the way, it's the start of a WrestleMania streak. He's now 3-0. That's good.
Yeah, 100%. Moving on from there, we got the Women's Intercontinental Championship match. Lyle Valkyria and the worst kept secret in all of WWE, Becky Lynch, defeat Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. I hate this result. But Bayley gets taken out on Saturday, I think, or whatever day it was, and she needed to be replaced. And as soon as you found out that Bayley was removed on Saturday, you knew that Becky Lynch was going to make the return. And I also think, interesting because we don't really know what happened to Bayley. So we got to find out what happened to her. Did Becky Lynch kind of take her out to kind of take this moment? They end up beating Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. That the Judgment Day pairing can make the argument like, oh, we weren't prepared for Becky Lynch. I just don't like the fact that they threw this tag team together at the last second and they beat a bona fide tag team for the titles. Lila Valkyria, her entrance looked awesome. It was really cool with like the wings and like it was the color scheme was very cool. It reminded me a little bit of what is that Nintendo game with the that's not coming to me. Never mind. But she's now a double champion, so kudos to her. But I don't know.
Yeah, this match I didn't really have too much to think about with it. My prediction originally, if I was to go with one, was going to say, okay, Raquel and Liv. They didn't have the titles for too long, and they're actually a really good tag team, whether they're heel or face. And as soon as I saw Becky Lynch open, I'm like, they're done. Liv is going to have a bad night.
She did.
We all saw it was going to happen as soon as Becky walked down. And yeah, it kind of bummed me out because I wanted to see Liv and Raquel be more tag team. I wanted Judgment Day to have Intercontinental and Tag Team Championships to their stable.
Me too. Yeah, me too.
And I thought it would give them a little bit more strength, but I figured that also kind of makes sense now because if Finn and Dom are going to be falling apart, then what's the point in making the faction stronger if things are going to go really bad south right now?
But I also think like just piggybacking off of that Judgment Day stuff, like I think because you're gonna have Finn Balor get removed from the group probably, right? Like that's probably the way it's gonna go down. Like if Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez still had their titles, be like, well, we all have titles. Where's yours? And that
not Carlito.
Well, yeah, but anyways, but yeah, I kind of like this wrestler hasn't wrestled in months and then comes back and immediately wins the title. I know Andy hates it. I don't necessarily hate her coming back and returning. I just wouldn't have put the title on her. I mean, they could have had, but I think you kind of booked yourself into a really difficult spot. Like, I don't think Lyra Valkyria should have been pinned either because she's the Intercontinental Championship. She has that title. Like, so if somebody were to pin her in this match, they could be like, oh, well, I should have that title. I wouldn't have put Lyra Valkyria in this match at all, given that she has the Intercontinental title. I would not have put the tag team titles on her either, because I think that just diminishes an title that, especially the Intercontinental one, that feels like just a trinket.
I agree with that.
Because now she's gonna have to have like multiple feuds all at the same time. I have no problem with them wanting to put a title on Becky Lynch. I just don't like how we got here, and that's all I really got to say about this.
I think Lyra Valkyria and Becky could make a great tag team. I mean, they're both Irish women, and I think that alone could be a kind of cool bonding experience. Plus, their history in NXT. I could accept this result a lot better if I knew that at some point she's going to drop the Intercontinental title, and then they're going to have a pretty solid tag team run. Which I do think she's going to be dropping the Intercontinental Championship at some point from somebody, whether it's Rhea or Bianca or some other big, buff, strong person that's going to come around and take it off her. I can see them doing the tag team run.
I still think the Bayley thing is possible. Like it could turn out that Lyra Valkyria is the one that attacked Bayley, and then they have a feud over the Intercontinental title, and then she drops.
Wouldn't that be doing the same thing Naomi and Jay Cargill did though?
I mean, not quite the same because this was a tag team that didn't have a title, but we'll see.
Okay,
but yeah, I would have preferred the WWE did something else here.
This was definitely my weakest match.
to the conversation starter, the undisputed WWE champion, and John Cena
Oh, yeah.
makes history with his 17th title victory, as he has now supplanted Ric Flair with more title reigns than anyone all time. But this was not the finish, because
No one
you
thought
can
it
make
was.
the argument the first 25 minutes of this match was incredible. Like, we had just everybody hitting their
There's
stuff.
a lot of playing with your food.
I really enjoyed the first 25 minutes or so of this match. Like, I thought it was really entertaining. Like, like they had a couple of the epic classic spots here. The referee goes down, the face gets the victory, the visual victory, even though the ref's not available. And then it just kind of fell apart for me in the last like 5 minutes. Like, it took Tyler Scott, or Travis Scott, whatever his name
Travis
is.
Scott.
It took him like 5 years to get to the ring. Like he's just walking so slow, and like we have to just wait for him before anything else can happen. And then Cody Rhodes gets the crossroads on him, and then it takes him forever to get him out of the ring. And then like John Cena, like they have the whole tiff with the title. John Cena hits Cody Rhodes with the title, and he hits them with the 1-2-3. There was never like that climactic moment. Like, the match just felt like it ended. It was like, okay, it's
I
over.
think we all kind of found ourselves left wanting. We felt like there was something going to happen, but nothing happened. And I've been comparing it to basically a massive case of blue balls. Basically, it's like, oh, where's the pop? Where's the finish? Where is the moment that's going to say, hey, this is why this is the finale? But instead, it's like, hey, just walk in, play with your food a little bit. John Cena's going to hit most of the finishers. Cody Rhodes is just going to be kind of like ragdolled most of the time. And then Travis Scott's going to walk in and say, hey, can you wait 10 minutes before I get there, please? And then and then walks down there. And then the only thing I could see happening with that is the fact that, oh, Cody and Travis needed like their moment. But it was
I guess, but
nothing was really happening. It just felt like something was supposed to happen, but nothing happened. And John Cena was just kind of, again, ragdolling Cody. I thought, oh, maybe Cody's going to tag back. But then, wait, is The Rock going to show up? And then I know we were all talking about Stone Cold Steve Austin coming out, drunk as a skunk. And we're like, oh, is he going to go out against Rock when he comes out? Like, we had all these things in our heads.
Yeah.
How this was going to turn out. And it just turned into, nope, just John Cena doing what he's doing.
I know this is going to sound real discouraging. Like, this felt like a match I could have watched on Monday Night Raw. Like, this didn't feel like
this looked like a match. I mean, this looks like a match I could have seen in Backyard Wrestling. But like,
let's not get that far. But like, this felt like, this felt like a Raw match we were watching as the main event of the, like, this. Where's the pomp and circumstance? Where's all the pageantry like the WWE famous for?
Exactly.
And if you want to compare and contrast finishes, just look at the ending of WrestleMania last year when Cody Rhodes finally completed the story, and like the celebration that was happening what as Cody Rhodes is being coronated as the new champion, compared to what we saw last night, where John Cena and Travis Scott just take this slow, boring walk out of the ring.
Yeah.
It almost ruined the whole day for me. Like the whole wrestling day. Not to mention I wasn't feeling absolutely super spectacular as it was anyways. But I cannot believe that was the finish that they had planned. And maybe they had to change it because The Rock was unavailable. But don't even insert The Rock into any of this if he's not going to be there at the end. The whole reason that John Cena even went heel in the first place was because of something to do with The Rock, and we never paid any of that off. It's terrible. But it's terrible.
Yeah.
I hate it.
I had Cena
real bad
winning in my prediction sheet. Like, I wanted Cena to win. Because I wanted that number 17 for him, because I went into this as a Cena fan back in 2006 again. And I said to myself, I don't like where the storyline is going. He is a really horrible heel right now. But, I stuck with him all the way back then. I'm going to stand with him now. And so I had Cena winning. It's just, I kept waiting for something to happen. I kept on telling myself, why is nothing happening? Why is this just so vague? I mean, in my review by the end of the night, my first thought is no matter what happens, this is still a historic ending. 17 is big. 17 is something worth remembering. It's just you really wish it happened some other way. It's like,
I mean, 'cause I don't think the finish of this match. I don't think the result of this match was ever really in doubt. Like I never in a world thought that Cody was going to win this match. I was more interested to see like how they were going to get there, and this didn't meet my expectations. Like because exactly like last year, like I think it was a foregone conclusion that Cody was going to beat Roman last year, but people were interested in like how they were going to get to that point because I mean it was just set up and booked better. Like the main event of WrestleMania last year was just set up and booked 1,000 times better than this. And if The Rock wasn't going to be available for this match and to be on TV and just have some sort of presence at all during the build, you shouldn't have involved them at all because it makes it look like they were like I don't know. It just doesn't. It didn't do it for me. And
this is why we think night one's finale should have been night two finale, because at least then that would have been something special to end out the entire WrestleMania season. And I'm waiting for a payoff. I can't wait to see what happens on Monday Night Raw just to explain all this stuff. The only thing that even gave me some type of happiness was the post-conference interview where he just kept on calling everybody's questions clickbait. That made me laugh. I'm like, okay, that's definitely some good heel work. We got clickbait. No, clickbait. Wow, everyone's doing clickbait. No, I'm out of here. And it just leaves.
But yeah, congratulations to John Cena. He's probably the greatest wrestler of all time, or in that conversation.
I think he's still got some good status going on despite last night.
Yeah, so I don't know. I just don't think. I guess we'll talk more about this as we can move on, but I wish there had been something more when it comes to the main event. It kind of left on like a really dud end of what was a fantastic weekend of wrestling and a fantastic weekend of entertainment. For the way that the last memorable moment of this weekend is going to be that ending, and it just shouldn't be this way.
A little heartbreaking, actually.
Yeah. But thank you very much for joining us. This has been On Point Wrestling Entertainment. This has been our WrestleMania 41 recap. We are Prime Sports World. Please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. As I mentioned at the intro, we're going to swing more into our traditional content tomorrow, including our UFL show and then a final mock draft on Wednesday. But thank you very much for joining us. And Ryan, thank you very much for making your Prime Sports World debut, my friend. Always happy to have you on the show. Me. I'm going to try to do more wrestling content. I just have to figure out my schedule right now. So I'm trying to tweak my my podcast schedule with my live schedule.
And sorry again, I didn't make it on Friday night.
It's okay. No big deal. But this has been our WrestleMania 41 recap. I'm, of course, your host, David On Point Huppman. Right there is Ryan Barrett. Is that Barrett? Did I pronounce like Wade Barrett?
Yeah, Ryan Barrett.
Oh, by the way, did you see how fast Wade Barrett slammed that beer last night? Like,
oh my God.
It was just gone.
I love Wade Barrett. I really do. Not just because we have the same last name, but because I just think he's a fun personality.
100%. But thank you very much for joining us here at Prime Sports World. Please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. And at Prime Sports World, we bring the heat. Here's a quick message from our sponsor, the Huddle Sports Network. You all have a good weekend. Stay safe. Have a good day. It's Monday. You all stay safe out there. You all take care of yourself and take care of your neighbor. Ryan, thanks for joining me. You have a good night. You have a good day, my friend.
I will do, sir. You too.
Welcome to the Huddle Sports Network, where we're breaking boundaries and redefining podcasting. Broadcasting live on 6 different platforms, we're bringing you the latest in sports like never before. Imagine tuning into real-time discussions, expert analyses, and fan interactions all at your fingertips. Each platform offers a unique experience, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch. We're not just sharing stories, we're creating a community of passionate sports enthusiasts. Join us as we dive deep into the evolution of podcasting, where every episode is a chance to engage, debate, and celebrate the world of sports. This is where your voice matters and the game never stops. Welcome to the Huddle Sports Network, where we're breaking boundaries and redefining podcasting. Broadcasting live on 6 different platforms, we're bringing you the latest in sports like never before. where sports passion meets podcasting brilliance. I'm Mike, the Bear fan, and alongside Bill, the Packer fan, and our buddy Ken Catalone, we're bringing you an incredible lineup of 38 diverse podcasters. Each one brings their unique flavor to the table, covering everything from game analysis to behind-the-scenes stories. Imagine diving deep into the minds of experts who live and breathe football, sharing insights that you won't find anywhere else.